Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 49th episode of Grave Matters, a round coffin discussion of all things horror. I'm Creepy Clown Girl, and alongside of me is the sleeping Wendigo. Hey, Wendigo, what up, dude?
Hello, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Oh, I see you, Patience, and Pimp Demon in chat.
Yep. Hello, guys.
Hi, everyone. Oh, and Raven, too. Hi, Raven. What's Raven saying? Nice. Okay. So, joining us today for the first time, he is new in the horror community. Everyone, please welcome Director. Hi, Director.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome to have you here. I keep forgetting, what's the other part of your name, sweetie?
Shadow.
Director Shadows, right?
Yep, just plain old Director Shadow. I don't have
Director Shadow.
I don't really have any other sub names at all.
So we know that you do have currently a YouTube channel with only one video on it. So for those that aren't familiar with you, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got your name, and what the future is of your channel, please?
Yeah. I started my channel a long time back. I did small videos here and there, not really good ones. And after a while, I decided to delete all those ones and just start from scratch again. At one point, and at the beginning of I started, I was planning on doing reviews or doing reviews of a show I was watching at the time. That didn't really work out because I didn't really know how to start out or anything like that. So it's been a slow process. Then a year ago I had my YouTube channel trailer made, and since then I haven't done nothing because I couldn't really think of anything to start off with. But then after a while I decided that my story I had in my head for such a long period of time, that I worked out the details in, I decided to write it down and tried to make something with that at first.
Awesome. How'd you come up with your name?
My name, basically, I've always wanted to be a director, honestly, because I always wanted to try and make something like a passion project, like make something I'd actually thought people might enjoy. So that's where the director part came from, and the shadow part I just thought worked with the character that you see on my YouTube banner and on my Twitter as well. So I just thought they both worked pretty well together, so I just threw those together, and that's how I got it.
An awesome name, definitely unique.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Well, it is.
Yeah, your name is very unique. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, could have went Director Pasta, but there's so many pastas.
Yeah.
That is also pretty true.
But sorry, what were you gonna say, hon?
Yeah, I just thought I liked it that way. Plus, I'm sort of hoping that if my story somehow catches traction somehow, that if I end up making this into like a movie or something, if that would ever happen. Don't know if it ever would, but if it does, this would be my name I'd go by instead of my actual name.
I think I would stay with the name Director Shadow.
That's what I was saying. Like, I wouldn't give my actual name if that were to happen. I would use this as my alias.
There you go. That's awesome. You know, it's like I was thinking the other day, it's like, wow, 5 years ago, you know, listening to content creators on YouTube and everything, and everybody was always, you know, asking that annoying question, when are you going to do a face reveal? You know, and now here we are 5 years later, and, you know, it's like, what's wrong with a little bit of mystery?
Yeah.
It's like, because people are, you know, face revealing now, and
Yeah,
it's like changed.
that I can agree with, because sometimes you don't need to know how a mystery ends. Sometimes you have to have that little bit of wonder of what could be or what could have been.
Right.
Just
You
to
know,
add something to the mind to go over.
but you know, at the same time, I understand maybe they're trying to show people that there is a person behind the voice, behind the mic, you know, because they're, you know, always being told that they're just mindless robots, you know, get a life, shit like that. And it's like, excuse me, you know.
I don't think I don't think a mindless robot could come up with the gruesomeness of most people.
Right, exactly.
Because details like that cannot really come from a program. That comes from the deepest subconscious of human minds.
Right. You know, there is a voice behind that microphone, you know. And thank you, Raven. Any questions, feel free to ask. Wendigo, dear,
Yes.
you have anything to ask or?
Yes. Since starting your channel, I know your channel is very new, so
Yeah.
where do you see your channel going since you've recently started?
Well, I sort of hoping that I can do a couple things. For one, try to make my own stories and have them written out and have people narrate them, or I try to narrate them at some point down the line if I feel comfortable doing that. And maybe just have like reviews of shows that I like, movies. Like, if you guys have seen the trailer I have on there, I said I would be doing voice acting and stuff like that, as well as reviews of shows. But basically stuff like that, and I would try to see if I can give people an idea of how I see horror, like my mindset on it, and what I
Oh,
think
that would be sick.
what I think should be considered more important to what shouldn't be as important to a story.
So a new twist, a new aspect to the way somebody narrates or depicts a story.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome.
That would be really cool because everyone has their own way of interpreting a story.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Is
Yeah.
there a? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Is there a genre that you won't narrate?
I would say that for certain things, I wouldn't really do anything that had to do with, trying to think of a way to say this word without getting in trouble. It's, starts with an R, or ends with an E. Starts with an R, ends with an E. It's a 4-letter word. Or anything that has to do with kids. That's not, anything like that I would never do anything with.
Right.
But if it was like, say, a ghost child, I might use that as like a story point to try and make it seem a bit more creepy.
Right. Exactly. Ghost
But-
children are creepy.
Yes, that I can agree with.
The
Which
Shining hit the nail on the head when it comes to that.
That I can agree with. It just depends on how you execute said child, in the story. If you make it too obvious, then it sort of just becomes a little bit noticeable. Because there's like,
Right.
I feel like there's a certain balance you have to hit when doing stuff like that.
Right. Like, a ghost child, you come across the playground and, it's the wind's not blowing and just, you see the swing set going, and then you hear a little child's laughter or something. Wow, I just wrote a story. Anyways,
If that happened to me, I'd be noping out of there.
Oh, the minute I saw it go swing once, I'm booking it.
That'd be like no, let's get out of here before we get haunted.
Yeah.
I can just see that too. Speaking of the paranormal, have you ever had the experience?
No, I haven't. I don't really believe in ghosts, but I'm a person who goes to church and stuff like that. So that stuff like demons and stuff that I do believe in. So I'm like very careful with stuff that I don't get around. I don't get around Ouija boards or anything like that. Because those things I just really stay clear of.
I tried a Ouija board as a kid. Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I stay clear. I just stay clear of
think-
stuff like that. It just also makes me feel unsettled.
Well,
I would I would add to that I don't think asking the dead for help would be a good idea for any situation.
It never is.
no, because if you hear knocking and you knock back, it's like, hey, I just opened my door. No.
And it's like, knock, knock, who's there? Grandma, but you're dead. Exactly.
I mean, in most cultures, if you hear knocking at the door and you open it and no one's there, you just invited a ghost into your house.
No.
Or when you're outside and like say like a full moon and you feel like there's just you feel like there's someone you feel like there's someone behind, you feel like there's a presence behind you even though there's nothing there.
Right. I've had plenty of experience with the paranormal. Oh.
I've had at least one main encounter with the paranormal.
Oh yeah, you have.
Yeah, with me,
Oh,
I've had.
Cece knows exactly what story I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've had 0, and I'd rather be kept that way.
Good. You're lucky. Real quick, hello to Dark Horse Tales, hi DHT, and Derringer. Thanks for dropping in, guys. So you write stories and stuff. Any projects that you're working on right now?
Yes, I am working right now on my main project that started me down this path, The Shadow of Death.
Oh.
And
Love the title.
I know, and I'm trying to keep it as vague as possible.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's times I end up I'm worried that they're gonna figure this out way too quickly.
I think everyone who writes has that in the back of their head. Like, what if they guessed it too early? If they guessed the ending, I mean, either there's just people that just skip to the very end anyway.
Yeah, but I think the twist I have at the end is a pretty good ending. I think.
I can't wait.
There's a good twist, and I think the ending I think is perfect the way it is because it doesn't really show you how it ends in a way. It's I would say it's almost like a cliffhanger, but there's no sequel.
Oh, one of those stories.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
And that's the thing with stories that I write, with horror stories I write, none of them have a happy ending.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because I've noticed that. Oh, go ahead, Wendigo.
I was gonna say, I think out of the ones I've written, I think only one has had a good ending so far.
Mm-hmm. None of mine do because honestly, if anything like that ever happened, there's no happy ending for anyone in any of those situations, ever.
You know, you're absolutely right. When does a horror story end happily?
And that's another thing. The characters I'm trying to write, I want them to seem as human as possible. Like
Right.
if one of their like a friend of theirs or something was in danger, they would, if they'd known them for a long period of time, people, in actuality, people would rush to try and save them no matter the cost.
Right.
They wouldn't just be like, oh, just leave them behind, leave them. They would actually try to go back and get them.
Yeah.
And it's unlike some stuff like what the movies show them. You have it just like a bunch of friends because you have like the blonde, the smoker, the drinker, the sex addict, the nerd, the jock, and everything like that. And it's like, okay, I think we need to get past this little rut.
You know, it reminds me of my story, The Masquerade Massacre. I went back to the 80s for that one.
I mean, films like that are fun whenever you just want to watch something that's like really cheesy. But then but whenever you're trying to write a story that has the characters seem more human, you have to like really like dial that down a lot.
Right. They do. Oh my goodness. Sorry, yawning. So what would you say is your strongest and weakest aspect when it comes to writing?
I think my strongest thing would be I have good ideas. I have really good story ideas. And they work, and the way I have them playing out in my head, I can see how they play out. I can see how they end. I can see how they begin. I can see the twists, the turns. I can see it all visually in my head. But then when it comes to writing it, there are times I get stuck, and there's moments where I'm trying to write dialogue, but I feel like the dialogue is either too bland or doesn't make sense, or so basically anything normal like. But I think my weakest point would be is describing a scene in in a long sentence or paragraph, like describing a character, describing the background or something like that. It's mostly just trying to describe stuff in detail.
Exactly, without too much or too little. That's me. I can see it all in my head, and then I go to write it, and it's just not connecting. It's just like, damn it.
It's because it's easy to visualize stories that you're making in your head and actually see the scene play out. But then when it comes to writing it, you try to add those little details, like say how on a dark night in the misty, damp woods, you hear the creak of the trees swaying in the ghostly howling wind and stuff like that. Stuff like that. Writing stuff like that is what makes it very difficult for me sometimes. Which is why I sometimes try to stick it to more of a script form where you just, like with this one, there isn't going to be any narration. It's going to be told from a character's point of view, but you're just going to have auditory sounds to let you know what's happening in each scene or where you're at.
Interesting.
That's actually a very interesting concept.
It is actually.
Instead of having the narrator tell you what's going on,
you have to basically you hear sounds, and then you can you visualize what you think is there.
Yeah, that is. I like that. That's actually a very cool concept.
Basically, what I'm thinking is, it's a story everyone can listen to, but everyone can imagine what that setting is and what it looks like visually.
Right. So if we're reading this story and the sound comes up, like Karen goes upstairs, throws the door open, and
Yeah, you can like visualize. Some people would visualize the stairway goes straight up, or some would like describe it as it going in a circle.
Right.
Like say, let me give an example. Like say you're in a town hall and you hear a bell ring. What do you imagine the town square looking like?
I picture cobblestones, a little corridor, maybe a small water fountain, like I said, a small corridor that may have shops on either side, and at the end of the long corridor is an old creepy graveyard and church.
All right, what about you, Indigo?
Okay, when you just say that the bell's ringing and you're in a town and you're like in a town square, I kind of think of really old town squares like stone floor, really old buildings, and just some sort of a stand in the middle of the town square where whoever had the announcement would be talking.
Okay, you guys like went really old school. I always think way I visualized it, especially visualized it, was a town square with a nice like gardeny area in the middle with a road that circles around that, so you can come in and go out the same way.
Mm-hmm.
With a giant clock tower, like a city hall, like a city hall with a clock tower.
Oh wow, I like that too.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Each people can visualize it their own way, so therefore they can create the story from what they imagine it could be.
And that's how you know that like your concept is unique, but I like it when I can hear a story or listen to one and I can visualize me being there or what it would seem like to me, and that's how you know a story's been well written. Oh.
That I can agree with. I sometimes take inspiration from stuff I've heard, or I take like ideas, like saying, like they make it narrated a certain way, and then I sometimes like mash those things together to try and make my own unique set of the ways of narrating.
And that's a good way to do it. Oh, Raven's not feeling good. Poor buddy.
Yeah. Hopefully you feel better, Raven.
Yeah, I hope you feel better, bud.
But I like that concept. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Cleaving Thought from Bone, aka Sabian Lockhart, but he had. Go ahead. But sorry,
go ahead. No, you're fine. Go ahead. I'm about to say no. I haven't heard of him before. I don't think.
He was formerly known as Sociopathic Pasta, but yeah, check his channel out. He and his co-writer Doughboy 420 wrote a series called Locust Lake, and I decided to create a fan fiction, and it's like 1,600 words so far. But he read it and he said it gives him like the old Friday the 13th vibes, and he said he likes how it transitions from scene to scene. And he said it really keeps a person interested, and it's not over, scripted and not underscripted. He said, "Trust me, it's really good."
Mm-hmm.
So, because he's an author, so and a narrator, so to hear that, it's like, yes, because he taught me. He said, if you're going to write a story, let the characters create it.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I listen to a lot of like true crime, like not true crime podcasts, but like people that talk about stuff like this. But I've also listened. Have you guys ever heard of Scary Tales for Dark Nights?
Yes.
Read by Otis Jiry.
Yes.
I
It
have
sounds familiar.
I have listened to a lot, and I mean a lot of those podcast things with those videos.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's where I get my inspiration from, because they tell you, even though they tell you what it is, you somewhat visualize it in your head, which is what I was sort of going with this. Basically, you're going to be hearing the story through the main character of the story, but you're going to be able to visualize the settings yourself.
Right.
So it's going to be like a movie, but it's where but the physical screen will basically be what you imagine with all the sounds compared inside the audio.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm hoping it's really good. That's one thing I know. That's probably a lot of people go through. They keep thinking, "I hope it's good. I hope it works out." I'm positive it'll work out. If it doesn't, that was just my first try at it. It doesn't mean I give up. It just means I just have to try harder on the next one.
I can't speak for everyone, but I would think a lot of the people in the community would like it from a storytelling aspect. But like I said, I can't speak for everyone on that.
Yeah, everyone has their own like how they like a certain story to be told. They have their own like, I don't want to say niche, but their own opinion on how a story should or shouldn't be told.
I would say style would be a better word for it. Like their own style for
that's what
how they want a story.
that's what I was trying to get at. I just couldn't think of the word.
Like, I can imagine the three of us getting together and writing a story.
That'd be cool.
And from a couple from the people I have helping me with this, including like PA and some other ones. And he actually said he says I write really good dialogue, which actually made me feel better, because I was worried the dialogue seemed a bit bland or a bit quick.
Mm-hmm.
But this is cut up into 4 videos, and if I post them all, it just means that everyone can watch it all together, and it's basically be like probably maybe an hour-long thing. So it could easily be about the length of a movie, at least, because some movies are about an hour or so. So
Right. And that's one thing that a lot of content creators can't stand, is trying to write dialogue.
I think when I wrote the dialogue, I think I wrote it pretty well with a couple of the characters, because it seems like something that actual people would talk about in these situations. And also, if like say someone had a secret, they would also, I feel like they would talk in a certain manner, like really hush hush, or if it's something they didn't want getting out, that they would make sure people are quiet about it.
Exactly. That's, when I write a story, like the one I'm doing for Sabian, the fan fiction, I try to picture myself. It's like, okay, I've been to summer camp. I know what the counselors do, and I try to visualize the conversation back and forth. What would I do? What did I see others do or say? And that comes out in everything, or it tries to come out in everything I write.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important. Try to put yourself and other people there. Hey, Josie, Kitty, and Dexter. Thanks for popping in. My little Josies.
Yeah. Hi, Josie.
She, my wifey. Don't ask.
Hello, Josie.
It's a Discord thing.
No, I know. I'm in Discords with her too as well. So
Yeah. So, uh, so let's see what time it is. Okay, so director, you're writing an autobiography about your life. Which chapter would you use to sell that autobiography?
that's a good question. Well, my life hasn't really been that interesting throughout my life, honestly. I'm a bit of a nerd and stuff like that, and I enjoy playing games and stuff like Star Wars, Doctor Who, etc., stuff like that.
Tetris is fun.
You say Tetris?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be fun until you're like, okay, this is really boring. It's like, because after all, it's like, okay, I put this here, put that there,
Da, 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 da.
and
Yeah.
and the repetitive music.
The
But I think,
moment you mentioned Tetris, that's what came to my head.
but I think if I had to use something to sum it up to sell the book, I'd probably something that has to do with music or something, or stories. Like maybe I'm a big fan of music, but sometimes
Oh, so am I.
but sometimes music can tell a story, and sometimes those stories can be written down and can be released into the hands of the masses for their consumption, or something like that, or something a bit more poetic.
Anybody can hear a song, but if you actually listen to it, you can understand. You know.
And songs can easily evoke emotions, even if it's just like orchestral music or just regular singing music. You just have to listen closely, and you can just hear the feelings in those songs.
Right. I am a music nut. Love a lot of music.
I do too. I got some classical music and some like Frank Sinatra, some musical stuff and such.
Oh, you like some Frank, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's got some good.
And also also like some Fats Domino too.
Oh yeah. Oh, yes.
The specific song I like is "I'm walking, yes indeed, and I'm talking like you and me. I'm hoping that you come back to me."
Wow.
That's one song I really like.
Wow, you got a great singing voice.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I was in choir for 4 years, so.
Wow.
I enjoyed it.
You all heard
much.
it first here.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite class in high school.
I always thought theater and art is, yeah.
I also did drama in school as well, so that sort of helped a little bit with my acting, with my VC skills a bit.
Awesome.
Well, I would say my favorite. I think my favorite class was probably string band.
Mister, I play banjo in the middle of a VC, which I love.
Hey, I can't help
it. Right. Real quick, let's welcome Surfing the Midnight Bard. And where did you go? Possessed Radio. Hi, guys. Thanks for being
here. Hey, guys.
Yeah, currently Wendigo and I are writing a story for Bard. And so far, he's loving the story. It's a comedy horror.
Nice. I can't wait until he sees the finished product.
Right.
Bard, if you hear us, we need a blooper reel.
Yes. Oh, and let us know what you thought about the preacher part. The pastor part. Come on, you got a bit, Bard. That was classic.
Yes, that was funny. I that was funny.
We'll have to tell you after the show, but anyway.
Yes.
When I think comedy horror, I for some reason automatically think Abbott and Costello meet Dracula for some reason.
Oh my God, that was a good one.
It's just like it's Abbott. It's just Costello. He's just like. Abbott.
God, that was spot on.
It's just the wheezing sound he makes when he's trying to talk. He's like. He was a good comedian.
He was. Some of their stuff was hilarious. I liked him in Scooby Doo too.
Yeah.
Good old TV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what this stuff is nowadays, but
Yeah. Also same thing with like horror movies and stuff like that. They don't really have the same impact as they did a couple years ago, like with like stuff like the Night Gallery, the Hitchcock Hour, Thriller with Boris Karloff, the Twilight Zone, stuff like that. They don't sometimes they'll catch your eye, but then sometimes when you watch it you leave unsatisfied.
you do, and it's like for me, the original It will be It. Because there's only one Tim Curry and there's only one It.
Yeah.
Kudos to the guy that did the second one. But like, a couple months ago, my daughter and I rewatched the original Candyman. And I still got that feeling, you know, even though it came out in like, I believe 94, 96.
This is what I mean. With new movies, they always use one technique constantly that is I think is a bit overused, and that is jump scares.
Right.
You don't get, because you always can tell when a jump scare is coming because it gets like really quiet. You just hear the person either walking or something, and then all of a sudden it's just a loud like crash or something, and it just makes you jump out of your seat. They have given up on subtle. You need to be more subtle when it comes to scares. Right,
and you know, like I was saying, you know, like the Candyman, you know, it was subtle. And I love you, Tony Todd, but I watched the second Candyman, and he had pretty much a cameo in it, and it was not my cup of tea. I was not happy with it at all.
I thought it would have been. I mean, I saw it, and I thought that's interesting. Basically, how Candyman is basically all these ones who have died, but it's the same guy who was the original Candyman. But at the same time, I'm like, you could have at least had the original Candyman in it for like half of the movie at least.
Right. But there was none of that, and I just was not very happy with it.
Yeah.
There just was none of that original on the edge of your seat, bite your nails, not knowing what to expect next.
Yeah, I think with that they did try to go more gross factor, especially with his hand and everything.
Right. And it took away the originality of it.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I'm a fan of, I like the Saw series.
Although that was good.
I like all the Saw movies. Yes, there's sometimes there's some points where it's like, huh? What? This don't make sense. But that's the thing with Saw, it isn't really supposed to make sense. Not until the very end when all the threads are pulled together in one coherent thing.
Right.
Yeah, that is.
And
that is also true with that series.
I did watch the Book of Saw, the Spiral Book of Saw. The new voice they did for it, I was like, I could take it or leave it. I would have liked it if they at least had Billy the Puppet there, but I thought it was an okay movie, honestly.
it's just, it's like, where's the, where's the psychological torture, you know, like in the first Scream movie, where you're sitting there, you're enjoying a horror movie, yet you're getting killed,
Yeah.
and everybody just thinks that what's going on is a part of the show, and nobody pays attention or realizes, oh, that was actually somebody getting killed. You
Mm-hmm.
know, where's all that at? It's like,
Yeah,
I
they don't.
would also. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Wendigo.
no,
I
you
was
go
gonna
ahead,
say,
honey.
No, he was
yeah,
speaking first.
Oh, okay.
no, you. Well, I was gonna
I,
say, or another example would be the psychological nonsense that Jigsaw done too in those
Oh,
movies.
God.
That's when, like with the first one and the second one, whenever they brought back the female actress from the first one with the reverse bear trap, that was actually, I like that. It was very subtle. You didn't know who she was until the very end. It didn't give nothing away, and until once you figured out, it was too late. Your main character was already in that little torn up bathroom and had the door closed on him.
Yep. I also like how the Amanda Young character, after her survives her encounter with Saw, she freaking joins him and becomes his apprentice.
Yeah, because
Right.
because the way because it was sort of like almost like brainwashing. Uh, seemed as if he helped her, when in actuality, he didn't really help her. He just basically scared her straight, literally.
Pretty much.
Ugh.
And even though he says he never killed anyone, he built the contraptions that killed the people. So technically, he did kill them.
Mm-hmm.
In a way.
Exactly.
That's the way people say, like, well, Jigsaw never killed anyone. I'm like, who built the traps?
Jigsaw.
The man who's good with building things like a little baby crib or a doll. If he can build stuff like that, he could easily build stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I have this little doll I got for Halloween, and she goes, "Why did you put me under the bed?"
Oh.
She's yeah, and she says, "She's coming for you."
I hate that. I hate that. For the longest time, that Chucky dolls terrified me. It don't anymore. But the Annabelle doll, the actual real one, I'm like, no. If there's something connected to that, I'm not going near that thing.
Yeah, I have her packed away, and every once in a while, if I move the container she's in, I'll forget she's in there. And, just for that split second, you're like,
that just sent a shiver down my neck.
Why'd you leave me under the bed?
I was about to say, if you don't be quiet, I'm gonna leave you in the trash.
I thought about it a couple of times. No.
I mean, I know some family members that have thrown dolls away just for blinking while they're laying down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, sometimes that can be explained as if it's just basically being like, if like sat down or something and it like rocked a little bit, the eyes could just like,
Right. My sister has it now, but she stands on like a wooden block, like a log, and it's a witch. And I had all my Halloween stuff sitting out one Halloween, and we had this cat, and this cat, never bothered by the Halloween stuff or anything, and all of a sudden saw that witch, and it literally arched its back. It's like one of those Halloween cats you see. This legit happened, and that cat smacked it and went. Meow. I mean, there was just something about it that cat went psycho over.
Well, grab the gasoline in the matches.
Right?
That'd be me. That'd be me. Anything like that happen, like, grab some matches and some gasoline.
Right?
I know.
This thing ain't staying in this house.
right?
Time to burn this mother effer down.
Not the house, but just whatever that thing is. It'd be like,
I know a family member of mine used to have a stupid Furby. I hate them darn things, by the
Oh,
way.
those things are annoying.
Yeah, well, this one didn't have batteries in it, and it kept telling this individual to feed it.
Oh, that sounds like it sounds like that one game that came out. Don't tell. What was it? It was like Don't Tell Mama or something like that about like little things that are like Furbies.
Yeah, I've seen someone play it. I know what you're talking about. This was something that apparently happened to my family member, and let's just say they threw it in the trash. I would too. I would too if a stupid toy that didn't have batteries told me to feed it.
Yeah, I'll feed you some. I'll feed you some acid or something. I'll feed you feed you a match.
I mean, if that happened to me, I would personally take a shotgun to it.
I would honestly I would probably take a sledgehammer.
Well, I've watched a ghost hang himself, so I if I can still remember it to this day. But if a doll goes feed me and it didn't have batteries in it, nope, I'm noping it out of there. It's like no,
Yeah, it's like
right.
You are not getting anywhere near me. You are going away.
Right? But I gotta find that doll and do something with it.
You should make a YouTube video about that doll, Cece.
I should do a short and dig her out this Halloween and just put her in front of the camera and then
Then the head just turns 360.
Right.
I just freaked myself out with that.
Oh no. Oh, that gives me an idea. Thanks.
Oh, great. Like I said, I have really good ideas, and I think with most of my horror stuff I do, I think it's basically me venting my, like, if I'm like angry about something or stressed or upset about something, I somewhat focus that into these stories I make, and it sort of just helps me like calm.
Right. That's what
sense.
I do with my poetry. Yep. That's why I wrote my poetry. And that's a good way of doing it.
And also that probably does associate with how I kill off characters. Like if I'm not really upset, maybe it'll be something maybe it'll be something a little bit controlled. If I'm really upset about something, they're not going to live through what happens.
Awesome. Remember all those times somebody pissed me off? Well, this is Jack, Jill, Joe, and Charlie. Those fictional names, but seriously.
That's what I mean. Like doing stuff like that does help when it comes to writing stories. If you take like your own emotions and just sort of like implant them into the story.
Derringer and Patience are having a conversation. I miss Patience.
About cornbread.
Oh. Have you guys ever had jalapeno cheese cornbread?
No.
Nope.
Oh my god, it's so good. Sorry, Patience, I know your stomach can't handle spicy.
I've had cornbread before. Not my favorite thing, but I've had it now and then.
My favorite is homemade biscuits. Again, with cheese and jalapeno, sometimes it's good.
Homemade biscuits sound delicious.
Oh, don't they? Oh, yes.
I'm just reading the conversation. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I've watched some of these old shows like Alfred Hitchcock Hour and stuff like that, and I liked how they did it. They didn't give very much away, and they left the ending sometimes very vague. Or like with
I like.
or what Twilight Zone did. It gave you an ending, but there was meaning behind it. It wasn't just like
Right.
it ends because it ends. And like sometimes characters will get a choice, and if they choose the wrong one, something bad happens. If they take the right one, something good happens. Of course, in my stories, none of them really have a choice. It's either one bad thing or another bad thing.
Oh, cool. You know, it's like with Psycho. Now that is a psychological thriller that has
Oh
stayed in the
yes,
minds of a lot of people over the
I need
years.
I
I need
think
to watch it.
I've never watched it. I've been wanting to, but I never had the chance. But I do know what it is, basically about Bates and stuff like that.
Right.
The one thing I love about that film, if it's I think it's the ending. It's zooming in on his face, and he's just like really deadpan, but that grin just starts to grow on his face. It shows you he may look like a normal person, but underneath, he is insane.
Hmm.
That's what I love about stuff like that.
Somebody just joined us in the chat, trying to see their name.
Comagram. Welcome.
Hello and welcome to Grey Matters.
Welcome.
Real quick, I'm going to do a little commercial. And with disclaimer, I am a promoter and supporter of the content creator Being Scared and the Chilling app. So if you haven't yet, head over to the Chilling app and start your 3-day free trial right now. And after that, it's only $2.99 a month. It has now 12 narrators, a part of the app. You guys will really enjoy it. You can change the ambient sound, set a timer. So head on over to your Play Store and download the app today. Also, again, his pinned tweet, check his Twitter out, Being Scared, and subscribe to his subreddit and submit your stories. And if he uses them on his channel, he will pay you $20 for each story that he uses. And that is Being Scared. He does have a YouTube channel. So, director, you've been a bad boy. So I want to know what you did to get on death row, what your last meal is going to be, and your method of execution.
Okay, interesting. This is an interesting one. No one's ever asked me this, so let me think. Honestly, probably how I got there is probably because someone did something to my family, and they chose the wrong day to do it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm very protective of my family. You try and do something, anything happens, I will flip. So probably something like that, or something worse. Let's just say hypothetically, it was something worse.
Yeah.
As I'm not really a violent person. IRL. I'm a teddy bear.
Aw.
But you do something that threatens me or someone else. I'm like, you better start running. Because if you try something, I will break every bone in your face.
Here's the line, cross it, trust me as God is my witness. Hell will have no boundaries and I will have no equal.
It's like, I'll turn the other cheek, but if you hit the other cheek, you are probably going to lose a few fingers.
And then some.
Yeah. But let's just say I think it's something worse. I would say my last meal would probably be... Let me think. I like a lot of stuff, honestly. But if I had to choose something that was like, that I could really sink my teeth into, probably maybe, okay, it's between two things. Either a nice big thing of KFC chicken,
Oh.
or a nice, like three nicely cut pork chops with some fries.
Now I'm gonna want pork chops and fries, and I'm not gonna be happy until I get it. What the hell?
And as for how I'd want to, how I'd die, that's a hard one because none of them are very quick. I'd rather not get poisoned because I don't like needles. I don't like getting electrocuted because I know I'd feel that. Don't want to get hung because it takes too long. Don't want to get decapitated. Don't want to get decapitated because supposedly you're still alive with your brain still going. So honestly, probably just shot. Just one quick, bam, done.
Now that works. I always said the guillotine because it's like, at the same time, now that you just totally freaked me the hell out, I think I'll go with a bullet to the head, thanks. Because I don't want to lay there possibly knowing that my body is no longer attached to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done tests when France was still doing execution via guillotine, and they told one person to continue blinking.
And they did.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like I'd rather just be like, just how about just one bullet?
I mean, at least then you won't survive the ordeal.
Or if I had to choose, just let me stay in a prison cell. I'll take the slow route. Thank you very much.
Just throw me in a cage and leave and throw away the key. That's the route you're taking?
Yes. Maybe.
Yes, give me my dark little cell, my little comfy bed, blankie, and pillow, and my food 3 times a day, and just go away and leave me alone.
Yes. And if I'm lucky, I can get off on good behavior. I mean, it's happened to a lot. It's happened to a lot.
Right. It really has.
Oh my gosh, Comagram. I'd want to be thrown in a wood chipper.
Oh
my God.
Talk about a agonizing death. That's really.
I mean, that's worse than what I chose.
Yeah.
Oh.
I chose nuclear bomb, by the way. I won't be taking just me, but I'll be taking everyone.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know it by the time it dropped. You wouldn't know what hit you, literally.
I probably
I'm Wendigo. I freaking love you too. I didn't want to die with you. I mean, I'm not the one that committed the crime. I mean, I wouldn't help you hide the body.
I mean, I'm a Wendigo. There wouldn't be no hiding the body.
Yeah,
right through.
Yeah, except he'd be very full for a few days.
Right.
Exactly.
We had MD Who Entertainment on here, and we asked her that question. She goes, popcorn kernels and the electric chair. So when they right. So when they flip the switch.
If she watches Cyanide and Happiness, there was actually a thing where they were executing a guy and he actually had popcorn put in his mouth, and he was electrocuted and it actually popped.
Oh God.
No, this was Cyanide and Happiness is like an animated thing on YouTube. You might know what I'm talking about, don't you, Wendigo? Or probably not.
I've never heard of it, but now I'm interested.
look up Cyanide and Happiness and just look up their little short videos. You'll see what their comedic stuff is like. Some of it's not really good, some of it's not decent, but some of it's really funny, even though it's not.
I mean, there was one person we had on here. He said guillotine, and it was like just below the vocal cord, so he could sit there and sing.
Hello, my baby. Did he happen to say the song "Hello, my baby, hello, my honey"?
Yep.
But I think I found it funny because BuzzFeed Unsolved with Shane and Ryan, they were actually talking about the guillotine. And the woman, I think it's Shane, actually said the same exact thing.
I believe that might have been where he got it from.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh my God, no.
I mean, it's funny. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, but I don't think that would work.
No,
I
don't
think
think it would either.
I think it'd be too busy trying to breathe. Even though there's
Right.
nothing to breathe.
Right, because there won't be no air.
There'll be no lungs. But let's say hypothetically, like if I was like my character, and he killed someone, he's a vampire bat for one, so he could just easily drink the blood and just throw the body somewhere.
Right. Okay, thanks for the blood. Oh, look, here's a perfect place to drop you. A nice, lovely looking pig pen.
Just drop it in like somewhere in Mexico, and then people think chupacabra.
Yeah, and be too afraid to go around it. Exactly.
Or somehow me and Wendigo's profile characters are in the same place. I drink the blood, I give him the body. Symbiotic relationship. I drink them full of blood, I gave you the meat.
Okay, that's a collab right there. Okay, wait. You two should write a story about a symbiotic relationship between your characters.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Actually, that would be funny.
Yeah.
The director and the Wendigo.
I would post that as a video, honestly, or just maybe a little short skit or something.
Right.
Where it's like where it just shows them acting wild, but then all of a sudden Island's like, "Hey, Wendigo, how's it going?" And then you're just like, "Oh, it's going good. How about you?" It's like regular conversation between two people.
Right. Real quick, hello. The Infinite is Infinite Psychosis. Hi, buddy.
Hello.
There's the is. He is. So, do you have any questions for us, or?
I don't really think so.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to get ready to shut the show down. Everyone, next, well, I can't talk. We will not have a show. More details will come out the next 9 days. But as it stands right now, Grave Matters is moving from April 28th to Sunday, May 1st. Time still undetermined. But if all goes as well, please come and join us for a very special 50th episode of Grave Matters called A Grave Reunion, where currently we are going to be joined by Nefarious TV, Night Terror, or I should say AKA Code with Tom, AKA Night Terror, Penny Tells Up, Monsters in My Mind, and if he's able to, Quipster Poke. So we hope you will join us for that. Really looking forward to it. So, Wendigo, any final words?
Well, I'd like to thank everyone for coming, and I would like to thank Director for coming on to the show with us. It was very fun having you.
I was glad to be here.
Director, any final words from you?
I guess from the words of my channel, if I can remember exactly what I said. Great, that's been since I've tried saying it, but it's in my YouTube trailer. But I bid you adieu in the darkness of the night.
Awesome. So, again, remember May 1st, Sunday. So until then, stay frightened, and remember, if you do listen to graves, always whisper. And once you join the collective, you can leave nevermore. Good night, everyone.